I make the mistake at 2:13 a.m., and it feels like nothing. I am in aisle G, under the sodium lights that make every cardboard box look sick. I scan a carton of returned parts. The scanner should beep. Instead it whispers my name, close enough to warm the shell of my ear. I jerk my hand and the red beam skates across the concrete. The whisper is so soft I think it is my own breath trapped in the plastic housing. I try again. I line up the barcode, squeeze the trigger, and wait for the familiar chirp. The scanner whispers again. This time it says very clearly, do it. I laugh under my breath because that is what I do when I am tired and spooked by a machine. I tell myself it is a setting, some new accessibility feature, voice confirmation, whatever. The warehouse is always trying to save pennies on training. I turn the scanner over and find a tiny speaker grill I have never noticed. I press it to my ear. Scan it. The scanner whispers, scan it right. My stomach tightens. The voice is mine. Not like it, not similar, not close. It is my exact voice down to the thin rasp I get when I have not had water. I look down the aisle. The place is huge and mostly empty at night. Forklifts sleep in their charging stalls. The far bays yawn black. The only other person on shift is Marco, and he is somewhere up front doing inventory counts. He hums when he works. If he was here, I would hear him. I should put the scanner back, walk to the supervisor cage, and ask for another one. That is what a sensible person does. Instead, I do the small mistake. I squeeze the trigger again. There is no beep. There is a whisper that slides right into my ear canal and makes my skin prickle. Good, my voice says. The screen on the scanner flickers and a location code appears that I do not recognize. Not my aisle, not my zone. A string of letters and numbers that looks like a path, like coordinates. I tell myself it is a glitch. I scan the carton anyway, and the system accepts it. The green check flashes. The job wants me to move it. I roll the carton onto my pallet jack and start toward the outbound lanes. The route on my handheld updates and points me away from outbound. A new task populates. Relocate to K13. Confirm. We do not have K13. We have aisles A through J. The building is old and the layout is simple. I have walked every line of it 100 times. My thumb hovers over cancel. Cancel. My voice whispers. I freeze. The scanner is not giving a command to cancel. It is mocking my hesitation. It is as if it hears my thoughts and repeats them back. I press confirm. That is the irreversible part. Not because a computer cannot be corrected. Because the moment I agree to it, the warehouse seems to agree too. The lights above me dim by a fraction. The air smells different, like damp paper. The far end of the aisle looks longer than it should. I push the pallet jack, wheels rattling, and follow the route arrow that points into the back corner of the building where we keep obsolete stock. As I pass the break room, I hear Marco humming behind the door, then I hear my own voice humming with him, perfectly matching the tune. I stop so fast the pallet jack bumps my shins. The humming continues for a beat, then stops. Marco opens the break room door. He has a cup of coffee in one hand and a stale donut in the other. He looks at me like I am the one acting strange. You good, he says. I try to keep my face neutral. The scanner acting up. He shrugs like machines always act up. Want me to swap it? Before I can answer, the scanner whispers no. My mouth moves on its own. No, I am fine. Marco squints, like he heard something in my tone. All right, you sure? He goes back inside and the door shuts. I stare at the scanner. The screen shows the route again. The arrow points deeper. My voice, from the speaker, says, keep moving. I tell myself I can still stop. I can still put the carton down and walk away. The mistake was confirming one task, not signing my life away. But my hands are already pushing the jack. The warehouse back corner is always colder. The concrete sweats. There is a row of pallets covered in plastic sheeting that hangs like wet skin. I pass them, the plastic crackling faintly. The route arrow points toward a door that should be locked. A gray metal door with a red exit sign above it. We never use that exit. It opens to a fence alley behind the building where weeds grow through broken asphalt. Tonight the door is not locked. I know that because the scanner whispers, open it, and my hand reaches before I decide. The handle is clammy. The door swings outward with a soft sigh. Cold air pours in. Not outside air. Not the humid city night. This air smells like rain on dust, like an empty basement after a flood recedes. Beyond the threshold there is no alley. There is a corridor of concrete that stretches away into darkness, lit by the same 6 sodium lights, spaced too far apart. The corridor walls are painted the same institutional beige as our warehouse interior, and the floor has the same oil stains. But it's not part of the building, I know. The corridor is like the warehouse decided to grow a vein overnight. The scanner whispers, K13. I stand in the doorway, carton on the jack behind me, and I listen. The warehouse behind me hums with fans and chargers. The corridor ahead is silent in a way that presses on my eardrums. I should shut the door. I should call Marco. I should radio the supervisor. Instead, I roll the pallet jack forward. The wheels cross the threshold and the sound changes. The rattle dulls, like I am pushing through carpet. The concrete under the jack looks the same, but it absorbs noise. The door behind me clicks shut by itself. I spin and grab the handle. It does not budge. No latch sound. Just solid resistance. My breath turns fast. I put my ear against the door. I hear nothing from the warehouse side. No fans, no chargers, no distant beep of other scanners. The scanner whispers too late. My throat tightens. I try the radio clip to my vest. Stack. I try my phone. No service. The screen shows the time and my lock screen photo and nothing else. I am alone in a corridor that should not exist with a carton of returned parts I do not care about. The lights ahead buzz faintly. The route arrow on the scanner points forward. I start walking because standing still feels worse. The corridor is straight, Then it bends. The bend is wrong. It curves gently, like a road, not a building hallway. As I round it, I see a wall map mounted in a metal frame, the kind we have near the shipping office, a printed layout of the warehouse with emergency routes. I walk to it, hungry for something familiar. The warehouse layout is there, but someone has added a new street in pencil. Not an aisle, a street, with a name written in careful block letters. I read it twice because my eyes do not accept it. New street! That is what it says. Literally, new street. The pencil line starts at the exit door I came through and runs into a blank area of the map that should be the outside of the building. It curves and ends at a little square labeled K13. The pencil is fresh. The graphite shines. My voice whispers from the scanner, "You drew it." I switch. "No, I did not." The scanner whispers, "Yes, you did. Last week. You forgot." I press my palm against the map glass. It is cold. My reflection stares back, pale under the bad lights. I search my memory. Last week is a smear of nights and pallets and caffeine. I remember a safety meeting. I remember a fire drill. I remember someone leaving doodles on a whiteboard. I remember, suddenly, finding a folded paper in my locker, a printout of the warehouse map. I remember thinking it was a prank, because there was a faint pencil line on it that I did not understand. I remember throwing it in the trash. My stomach drops. This is the same line. I step back from the wall map. The corridor continues past it, bending again like a road. The scanner whispers, "Follow your street." I grip the pallet jack handle until my knuckles hurt and push forward. The corridor widens. It becomes less like a hallway and more like a loading bay without doors. The ceiling lifts higher. The lights hang farther apart. Shadows pool in the corners. I start hearing something that could be footsteps, but they never quite match my own. Always a half beat behind. When I stop, they stop. I stop abruptly. Silence. I whisper, "Who is there?" From somewhere ahead, my own voice answers, "Who is there?" It comes back the same way an echo would, but the space is wrong. The voice is too close, too intimate, like someone is standing just out of sight and leaning around the corner to speak. My skin crawls. I tell myself it is a vent trick, a weird acoustic effect. Then I hear the voice again, not repeating this time. "Come on," it says, impatient. "You are late." I swallow. Late for what? The scanner whispers, "Delivery." The route arrow points to the right, toward a bay door that is rolled down. It looks like our shipping doors, but there is no dock plate, no outside light, no gap at the bottom. There is a keypad on the wall. The scanner whispers a sequence of numbers. I stare at the keypad. My fingers hover. The numbers feel familiar, like a password I have typed in dreams. I punch them in. The keypad beeps, finally, a normal sound. The bay door shutters and begins to rise. The opening reveals not the outside, but another stretch of that corridor and a painted line on the floor like a road lane. The air coming through smells like wet cardboard and something faintly metallic. I push the pallet jack through. As soon as I cross, the bay door drops behind me with a slam that makes my teeth click. Eyes open. The door is seamless. No handle, no keypad on this side. My chest tightens. I keep walking because I have no other option. The new corridor has signs overhead, like street signs, green with white letters. They sway slightly as if stirred by a breeze I cannot feel. New street, one sign reads. My voice comes from ahead again, cheerful now, like I am calling to a friend across a parking lot. Over here. I follow the sound and the route arrow. The corridor opens into a space that looks like a section of town built inside a warehouse. There are fake building facades made of painted plywood and sheet metal. There is a curb. There are trash cans. There is even a dead streetlight. It is all wrong because the ceiling is still the warehouse ceiling, high and ribbed with steel beams, and the lights still buzz overhead. But the street is real enough that my shoes scuff on gritty asphalt instead of concrete. At the far end, a single door stands open, warm light spilling out. The scanner whispers, "K13. I push the pallet jack toward it. The carton feels heavier now, as if the return parts inside have multiplied. As I get closer, I see a nameplate beside the door. It has my last name on it. I stop so hard the jack wheels squeal. The first loud sound I have made since coming here. The open doorway smells like my own house. Not my childhood home. Not any place I have lived. Something more intimate. Laundry soap. Old books. The faint scent of my shampoo. My pulse hammers. I whisper, "This is not real." From inside the room, my own voice says, "It is real. Come in." The voice is not coming from the scanner now. It is coming from inside. I stand at the threshold and stare. The room beyond is laid out like a small office, but the furniture is mine. My chair, my desk, the mug I use every night, the framed photo I keep turned face down because it makes me feel watched. On the desk is another copy of the warehouse map. The new street is drawn in pencil, darker and thicker, like someone traced it again and again until the paper bruised. Beside the map is a stack of printed pig tickets. The top one has tonight's date and my employee ID. The item description reads in plain text, "Voice return." I cannot breathe right. I set the pallet jack handle down carefully, like a weapon I do not want to trigger. I step into the room. The door behind me swings a little, as if nudged by a draft, and I hear the faintest whisper from the scanner on the jack. It says, "Leave it." I look at the desk again. The map, the tickets. A chair in the corner is turned toward the wall, like someone sat there for hours facing nothing. Then the chair moves. It rotates slowly, scraping the floor with a sound that makes my molars ache. Someone is sitting in it. The back of their head is visible first. Short hair, the same color as mine. They turn the rest of the way. It is me, not a mirror, not a photo. A person with my face, my tired eyes, my exact expression of confusion trying to harden into control. They smile like they have been waiting a long time. "Hey," they say, in my my voice. You finally scanned it right. My mouth goes dry. I try to speak and only rasp comes out. The other me stands up. Their movements are familiar, my own habits copied perfectly, right down to the way I shift my weight when my knee aches. They walk to the desk and tap the map with one finger. You keep drawing it, they say softly. New street. Every time you try to forget, you draw it again. I shake my head. I do not. I would remember. They lean closer. Their eyes are flat, like the warehouse lights have drained them. You remember wrong, they say. Behind me, the scanner whispers, swap. I glance back at the pallet jack, at the carton of returned parts. The label is peeling. The barcode looks smeared, like it has been scanned too many times. The other me follows my gaze and nods. Put it on the desk, they say. I take a step backward instead. My radio crackles suddenly, sharp and startling. Marco's voice bursts through, distorted. Where are you? You just disappeared off the tracker. Relief hits so hard my knees wobble. I bring the radio to my mouth. Marco, I say, I'm in the back exit corridor. There is something wrong. The door is locked. From the desk, the other me speaks at the same time, perfectly matched to my cadence, my panic, my exact words. Marco, I say, I'm in the back exit corridor. There is something wrong. The door is locked. The radio hisses. Marco answers, confused. Stop messing with me. You sound weird. I stare at the other me. Their lips move in sync with mine. Their eyes never leave my face. They tilt their head, listening to the radio like it is a private joke. Then they speak alone, and my voice comes out of their mouth with my exact urgency. Marco, it is me. I need you to open the exit. I am trapped. My throat closes. I try to shout over them. No, Marco, do not. The radio crackles again. Marco says, which exit? The north one. The other me smiles wider. Yes, they say into my radio. The north one. I lunge forward, grabbing for the radio, but the other me is faster. They move like they know my next step before I do. They catch my wrist and squeeze. Their grip is my grip. The same strength, the same pressure points. You cannot go back, they whisper, not through that door. The scanner on the pallet jack whispers from behind me, close it. The room seems to dim, like the lights are obeying another set of hands. I rip my wrist free and stumble back. My heel hits the pallet jack. The carton wobbles. The barcode label flashes under the overhead light. Voice return. My phone buzzes in my pocket. A notification pushes onto the lock screen even though there is no service. It is a photo. A map. The warehouse layout with a pencil street. And a dot that shows my location moving deeper along New Street. Another dot blinks behind it, close, matching every step. I look up at the other me, and they raise my radio to their mouth one more time. Marco, they say. Calm now, like giving an instruction at work. Ring the spare scanner. The whisper one. And do not tell anyone you heard me. The radio clicks. From somewhere beyond the room, down the fake street, I hear a door unlocking. Metal on metal. A human hand on a handle. The other me turns their head toward the sound and smiles like a host hearing a guest arrive. They look back at me. Now we can switch, they say. Behind me, the scanner whispers my name again, so close it feels like lips against my ear, and the door to the room begins to close on its own.